Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Nama Om Vishnupadaya, Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine, Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Hare Krishna. International Society for Krishna Consciousness, ISKCON, Sridham, Mayapur welcomes you all in today's Mayapur Live English talk show. Today we have a very special guest, His Grace Kripanidhi Prabhu, and the title of our today's show is Distribution, His Life and Soul. So I would like to introduce His Grace to with our audience. Kripanidhi Prabhu was initiated 52 years before by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada on June 6, 1972. He was a very young boy at that age, 21 years old. So on the direct order of Srila Prabhupada, he traveled and distributed books as a brahmachari for the next 11 years. In November 1977, he was briefly sent to Vrindavan, where he was present during the final pastimes of Srila Prabhupada. He was privileged to dig the Samadhi by hand for Srila Prabhupada on the night of November 14th with one other brahmachari. He returned to India in 1983 and served as President of the New Delhi. I'm very fortunate to be here because I got the chance to connect with the Delhi temple only. So he served as a president for 6 years. During this time he opened the first Bhakti Yoga Club at IIT Delhi, the Indian Institute of Technology, with a special focus on synthesis of science and religion. He also lectured and organized programs with ISKCON's Bhakti Vedanta Institute with a focus on Vedic apologetics. He returned to Canada in 1989, where he continued distributing books and preaching on university campuses as his main service for the next 30 years. Now he resides in Sridham Mayapur with his family, where he serves Sri Sri Panchatattva on their altar, manages and hand-to-hand distributes Srila Prabhupada's books at the International Book Booth, offer regular worldwide Zoom classes, participates in Harinams and preaches Krishna consciousness to students, professors, pilgrims, and got a wonderful life and exemplary life to live with. So I'm very fortunate to have here with him to ask questions on book distribution, a very, very important service in our international society. So welcoming His Grace Kripanidhi Prabhu.
Thank you. And Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we'll start our questions with a very deep breath, because today we would be learning many good tips on book distribution and inspiration to do book distribution, to read Srila Prabhupada books deeply. So the first question is, what was Srila Prabhupada's instruction to you about book distribution?
Well, in 1972 in June, for the first time, I encountered Srila Prabhupada. He came to Portland, Oregon, and in the airport, he was very grave, and he was immediately giving us a directive about, you're doing a lot of back to Godheads, and we would go out on Harinam Sankirtan in the streets for hours and hours. Said, I want my big books distributed. This was 72. At that time, most of the books were Back to Godhead magazines. Not as many large books, although Srila Prabhupada was, every night he was translating the bhagwatam and giving his purports, his beautiful jewel-like purports for the benefit of the entire world. So he wanted, he put a great emphasis on the distribution of his larger books, the Bhagavad Gita. he had translated, of course, Krishna book by this time, and he was working on Srimad Bhagwatam, first canto, second, third, fourth, and they were being published in America by Macmillan and other companies. So that was the initial impression I got, that book distribution is something that he really emphasized at the forefront of his mind.
So I just recalled one very inspirational video of yours, which was recorded just 2.5 years before, when there was a inauguration of the BBT go down in Mayapur. So I would like to request Mayapur TV team if they can play the video that was in October 2021.
Ah.
BBT is my heart. So the BBT is my heart. Prabhupada's has always been Srila Prabhupada's joy, and he said the BBT is my heart. So the BBT is my heart. So the entire solution, the peace formula for the entire world, which is fraught with conflict and violence and so many problems, is Srila Prabhupada's books. And when we distribute his books, we feel the presence of all the acharyas. We feel the presence of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. We feel the presence of Gopakishore Babaji, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the six Goswamis. We really feel the mercy. The more books we distribute, the more we feel the mercy. So, as young men, we dedicated our lives throughout the world to just eat, sleep, book distribution. And that's what we've been doing. And we're continuing to do that. And this is what will save the world. Srila Prabhupada is living in these books. He's living in the books. And the books are also embellished with the dust from the lotus feet of Krishna, who actually, Prabhupada said, Krishna wrote these books. So that is our dedication. And Srila Prabhupada also said, everything follows book distribution. Everything. Book distribution ki. Hare Krishna.
Very wonderful video. Thank you, Mayapur TV, for sharing that video on the screen with our audience. So we are having very lined up questions. So have you distributed any one famous?
Well, of course, we were in Los Angeles in mid-70s at the airport. Devotees had opened up the airport. A devotee named Tripurari Prabhu, he opened up the airport, which was extremely lucrative for book distribution. And I sold a book to a movie star called Paul Newman, and some other ones, Frankie Avalon, also. So a lot of the movie stars from Hollywood were going through, and some of them would be receptive and take our books and give a donation and so on. Some weren't not so receptive, but yeah. This was the height of book distribution, 75, 76. Prabhupada was really, really pleased. Millions of books were being distributed in America, or the Western world, North America and Western Europe, and South America, and so on. So Srila Prabhupada was amazed by the numbers. Ramaswara developed a newsletter, and he would have Prabhupada quotes every week. We had a weekly newsletter, and it was just beyond Prabhupada's expectations, the amount of books that were being distributed. So the wave of book distributions, Christmas of 72, those 3 days, 22, 23, and 24th of December, I recall that devotees just discovered that you go to these parking lots outside of these shopping malls and places, and people were in a very good mood. It was Christmas time, time for giving, and thousands and thousands. In 3 days, I think Los Angeles Temple did 17,000 of Prabhupada's books in 3 days. And when it was reported to Prabhupada by Ramaswar, this was just the beginning of this amazing tsunami of book distribution to hit the Western world. And from there, it just built up and built up. So, yeah.
I mean, 1972, the first year of Christmas for yourself for book distribution, because
It
you
was a
joined in
discovery. It was a discovery. I mean, Super Soul was guiding us how to distribute these books. You know, tax our brains. Prabhupada said, tax your brains, how to do it nicely.
Yeah.
He said, don't offend the recipients, but make sure they go away feeling satisfied. And many people really appreciated Prabhupada's books. They would write in letters. There was a mail order system from Los Angeles, and so people would write in their appreciation that they met someone and they were their life was in turmoil, which is Kali Yuga. You know, Manda Sumanda Matayo Manda Bhagi Upadruta. And so they would express their appreciation for reading Srila Prabhupada's books and deriving great satisfaction and light from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagwatam. So it was just an amazing experience and an amazing time. Yeah.
That was your initial year of joining, and it took like couple of years gradually. But my question is that what inspires you to go every day out? I mean, 52 years for book distribution. It's like, 52 years. So what inspires you to go every day?
We all have our tastes, but the distribution of books and meeting people and, infiltrating into their heads, into their hearts, piercing their hearts with some Krishna consciousness, very powerful. We're giving Prabhupada. When you're distributing a book, those words are, in Prabhupada's books, Prabhupada said, you read one word, your life can be perfect. So these books are creating a revolution. Prabhupada compared them to time bombs going off. People put them in their homes, and then someone reads them, and their lives are transformed. So many people I've met who receive books, years before, and then they'd say, I just read your book. Sometimes they're just small books. They said it changed my entire life. They would become at least vegetarians. They would become involved in the practice of meditation and yoga and the chanting of Hare Krishna and so on. So we have no idea. It's like an iceberg. We're just seeing the tip of the iceberg. So
I would like to seek your permission to play just one audio clip, which is by one of the recipient of your books when you were distributing the same.
This was during COVID, and we weren't allowed really to go door to door. So we're sneaking around. It was Christmas time. We'd like yoga and all this Eastern type kind of cultures. So knocking on doors, this person let us in and got a Gita, and then we introduced the Bhagwatam. These Bhagwatams, some of them were sponsored by the Hindu community, because in every town in America, Canada, there's a Hindu community. So they would sponsor. They appreciated what we were doing.
I have one small audio clip to just play.
Sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
please. Oh.
Go ahead. Sound.
Okay, just check.
On St. Paul Street in Kamloops, and hi, Krip. This is Reena Prasad. I don't know if you fully remember me. We lived on St. Paul Street in Kamloops, and you knocked on our door one day. I just wanted to take a moment and tell you, knocking on our door that one day and gifting us those big books. I remember looking at them, thinking, what am I going to do with this? How am I going to find the time to read this? But I wanted to take a moment and tell you knocking on our door and gifting us those books has changed our world completely. And I'm so grateful. I just finished saying my prayers and I looked at those books and I just want to tell you that I'm so grateful and that you and your family have been and always will be in our prayers. And thank you so much for that gift, because we live in Krishna consciousness. We live there. And I thank you. I always did. But my husband, he's on the 8th canto. And he's doing really well. And he's a changed man. And I got to thank you for it. So I was just saying my prayers and I thought, you know what? I'm going to give Krip a quick message and let him know just how grateful we are for you stopping into our house that one day, because that one move changed everything for us in our life. So thank you.
Very heart-touching feedback of your book distribution. And she shared that her husband is also on the 8th canto, started reading books. So can you little bit elaborate this instance of this Mataji?
This is the power of Srila Prabhupada's purports. They're very powerful. Cheto Darpana Marjanam. They're cleaning the heart, transforming people's lives. We know that verse, creating a revolution within the lives of the world's misdirected civilization. So her husband was an average guy in Canada. He had a good job. They love to hunt. They hunt big game. They have their guns. He gave everything up. He's a, more or less not pure vegetarian, but a little fish. But his whole life was transformed by Srila Prabhupada's words, his purports, and he just was like absorbing this knowledge, going through all the cantos, 1, 2, 3. Now he's completely read all 12 cantos, and their lives is far more harmonious and happy. So this Srimad Bhagwatam is literary incarnation of God. So this is the power of the great acharyas. Their power is coming through in Prabhupada's purports and in Vedavyasa's words and Sukadeva Goswami's words. It's amazing. We simply have to be instruments and keep trying to deliver this great message, this great mission to the people of the world. And people are seeing that this is the answer to many of their questions and many of their struggles. This is the medicine, good medicine to cure them of their disease and suffering. We go blind, door to door, knocking on doors. We just go cold calling, we call it, and see what happens. And Krishna gives us intelligence. He directs us and guides us where to go, who to approach, and so on. You never know what's going to happen. That's part of the excitement. You don't know what's going to happen next.
A real adventure every day.
Yeah, great adventure. I think as young people, we were looking for revolution. That's what we were looking for, a change of paradigm shift, as they say. And Prabhu gave it to us on a platter, a beautiful silver platter. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagwatam, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And the more we distributed, the more we tasted the nectar of Prema Bhakti. The Panchatattva, the more they gave, the more relishable it was, It says in the Adi Leela.
So going door to door, and then now we can see a beautiful cart, the book distribution cart in Mayapur. So what inspired you to make a book cart?
Yeah, it's very exciting because people are coming here from all over India, especially West Bengal, and it's in their blood. The Sankirtan experience is in the blood of the Bengalis for sure, as well as the Indians and probably Indians, to take up their culture and give it to others, So I was inspired that, well, we should have a nice mobile book cart, a mobile cart, a book cart, There's vendors selling sabji on their carts and whatever else, cooked foods. And so, yeah, this is the real food for the soul. So I got inspired to do it, and I'm thankful and grateful to some of my god brothers and people who have been observing my efforts for a long time in USA and Canada, and so they have sponsored this cart, and it's a very nice cart, and it's very convenient for us to move around and distribute books from, and people are very much responsive to the cart. They like it.
Yeah, it's amazing to reach out to the people wherever there is more crowd, so you can move your cart to that side to spend some time there. So, do you notice any difference between distributing books in West and now in India?
In the West, of course, there's a lot of, this is the battlefield. Srila Prabhupada, the great Senapati, the great general of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was predicted, and he's empowered personality, very empowered. So he went into the bowels of Maya. He went into the bowels of the enemy and began this huge Hare Krishna explosion, as they called it. The scholars and historians call it. So in the West, we meet with antagonism. Other religious groups sometimes will call the police on us. It's a constant endeavor, and of course, more animosity. But that's part of the game, as part of our duty. And we have to rely a lot on Krishna more. We have to pray to Lord Nrsingadev.
Yeah.
So in the West, it's definitely more of a battlefield situation, and we are Prabhupada's commandos. Whereas commandos going out and facing the enemy, which is Kali, especially in America, Canada, these places, the opulent countries where there's a lot of wealth, then you have more Kali influence. And so we do meet up. But we have people who are very receptive as well. People who are interested in yoga and all this Eastern philosophies. And there are nowadays many vegetarian people. So these kind of people will be very, very receptive, very receptive. And they're living in this turmoil country. Prabhupada said the Americans are wondering how there's so much crime and grief in their country, which was actually founded by religious people. The founding fathers were very religious. In God we trust. And now we see, an enormous amount of conflict and problems in America, social pathologies and so on. And Prabhupada's written in his purports, the Americans have to take up Krishna consciousness and the world will follow them, which is true. So, yeah, I've had, in the West, people pull guns on me, they've punched me in the face, they've thrown me in jail. That's what we experience. And we just have to rely on Krishna, pray to Lord Nrsingadev.
So, have you ever been arrested?
Arrested?
Yeah.
That's an understatement. Many, 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 innumerable times we get arrested. People call the police on us all the time. Interesting, though, in Canada, I was at a beautiful park near our farm, Sharanagati, distributing books. And, of course, these people, different religious groups, they see us as, a brainwashing cult or something, unpalatable, undesirable. So they called the police, and the police came, and one of them was from Haryana.
Oh, India.
And yeah, and I don't know if he was born in Canada, but He certainly was, and his friend was Canadian guy, and they both ended up buying Bhagavad Gitas.
Wow.
And I had pictures of them buying the Gitas for donations, not for donations.
They were the police guys.
Yeah, the big police guys,
strong.
you know. And this is what happens constantly. You get, adversaries, and they come and they call the police. They're trying to harass us. So they came. So the next year, I had my table up. It was a festival time, a celebration of some holiday in Canada. And the same police came again, and he showed me that he had tattooed on his arm here, Sarva Dharman Parichaja Mamikam Sharanam Braja Aham Tam Sarva Papebhyo Mukshiyashyami Masucha. And he's kind of very proudly showing it to me. So things are changing in the sense that, people have to see that the Hare Krishna movement is very authentic, and we're actually embracing the principles of all religions. These principles are a thread that goes through all religions, and people should be following them or adhering to them. So this was very nice that they made friends with me, these police officers, and were very favorable. So I wasn't harassed anymore. In India, people are extremely proud that foreigners are taking up the Sanatan Dharma. So when they come to Mayapur, they're extremely pious people. India is the land of religion. People are the Bengalis, very soft-hearted people, and they're extremely interested in literature. They're quite attracted to literature, religious literature. So, yeah, this is the police here, and they're getting Bhagavad Gita from my book table. Yeah. And then, this is the year after, the next year he came and showed
The tattoo.
Sarva Dharman Parichaja Mamekam Shana. Very proud. And his partner here, who is total Canadian, he was, talking about Bhagavad Gita and karma and reincarnation and Krishna. He's very enthralled by the Bhagavad Gita.
We have a close-up picture also.
Yeah.
The next picture.
I don't know if it's in Sanskrit or what, but
Yeah.
it's from the 18th chapter, 66, Bhagavad Gita. So this is a kind of inspiration you get. Like you meet people and they're very receptive and very intrigued by Vedic culture, Vedic philosophy, Sanatan Dharma, and this gives us so much inspiration to keep going. Of course, the great acharyas are always with us when we're out there depending on Krishna. We're thrown out into the battlefield, so we have to remember Krishna, pray to Krishna, send us some receptive people that we can please the spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. This is his the closest thing to Prabhupada's heart is this book distribution. This was also, Prabhupada mentions his spiritual master told him that besides building temples, more importantly, you should distribute the Brihat Madanga, play the Brihat Madanga, the Bhagavad, the BBT, which is Prabhupada compared to his heart. So, yeah, this is very exciting, and we have to continue distributing the mercy of the Lord, and knowing quite well that Gauranga Mahaprabhu has a great plan for the world. He wants to drown them in this prema bhakti, this pure devotional service, and our only business is to be his instrument. And nothing but success we will prevail. I should say, this movement will prevail around the world.
I got some news that you are distributing Bhagavatam sets, sponsored Bhagavatam sets to the people who can't afford the price.
We have a system like this. A friend of mine, he is from Midnapur, West Bengal. His father is a retired farmer, and they have this Namahata program all over West Bengal, where each village has a group of devotees. So we've been distributing, especially to poor devotees, these Bhagavatam sets. So I'd like to invite anyone who wants to sponsor. I'm doing a little plug-in here for sponsors. 8,500 rupees Bhagavatam set in Bengali. You can give towards it, and then we distribute them. Only today I distributed a set to a very, very nice couple who are from Hooghly. And the village people are very poor. That's, which we do quite frequently. Everyone that born in West Bengal, they know about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Everyone in Calcutta, they've heard of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this life and teachings of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, the Chaitanya Charitamrita, is very sweet for them. Very, very sweet for them. And they're very, very happy and grateful. You can see it in their hearts. The people are fundamentally extremely soft-hearted people. In America, Canada, these places, people become quite hardened. Dambu, Darpo, Bimanasya, Kroda, Parusham. They're quite hard-hearted. So you have to deal with them very, very humbly and tolerant. So we have a nice, great, receptive audience here in Mayapur.
Yeah, I saw while distributing books, you are very friendly, meeting people, asking their occupation, how they are doing, and becoming friends. So it's very touching. Can you inspire our youth who hesitate to go on roads to distribute books?
Yeah, if you have a good sadhana, and of course the mind is saying no, Bandharatma Manasa, you have to make the mind your friend. So you push yourself, even your mind saying no, just push yourself, throw yourself into the ocean, of nectar, the ocean of devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So yeah, many times, even myself, I don't feel like going out, my mind, but you just put your body there, and then suddenly everything changes from day to night, night to day. And you start tasting the ecstasy and the bliss, meeting people, you're touching their soul, so soul to soul. And super soul is talking to their super soul, and you just, if one is sincere, people feel the sincerity. That's all. They feel the sincerity and the enthusiasm, and then they will respond positively. So you touch their heart. You make friends first. Hey, how are you? Not just, sell this book. No. Don't be so attached. You're there to touch their hearts and make them feel comfortable and make them feel that you care about them. You are my friend. Let me touch your heart, give you some love. Devotee's heart should be soft and compassionate, like Radharani's heart is very soft and compassionate. So that is the first thing. And show interest. Where are you from? What's your name? Like that, establish a relationship. What's your name? They love it when you ask their name.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm so-and-so Datta. I'm so-and-so Ghosh. I'm so-and-so Mandal.
Mm-hmm.
So, Datta. Did you know Gauranga Mahaprabhu had a disciple called Mukunda Datta, Vasudev Datta, a great devotee? You must be a descendant. Make a joke. And then they lighten up, look at the books, and they're very intrigued by the beauty of Prabhupada's books. The BBT is doing a wonderful job. These books, the presentation, the books sell themselves. They're very beautifully manufactured and fabricated. So, wonderful experience.
So it's very nice takeaway point for that we should not be target oriented that I have to sell that book, I have to just get this book done. It's like establishing a relationship, touching their hearts so that they get a taste of that that relationship with a devotee, with an ideal example. So it's a very inspirational thing to learn. Yeah.
Right, and even I don't speak Bengali. They feel, they get the language.
Yeah.
They feel, oh, this person, cares. And they, of course, they have great admiration for Srila Prabhupada's accomplishments and the ISKCON movement,
Yeah.
spreading throughout the world. So you might say we have a bit of a captive audience.
Mm. The next
Very exciting.
next question which is coming into my mind is that, like in Mayapur, whoever comes, they do have some faith. That's why they are in the temple for darshan or some visit. But if we go out where there is, you know, that nobody's interested zone, so how to try in that zone?
Well, we have, I think, at least 10 buses here, and they go out all over West Bengal and further beyond that.
The Sankirtan bus party, it's a bus Sankirtan party.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Sankirtan book distributors, so many buses. Mayapur is #1 in the world. These devotees are, very enthusiastic, very determined, and Krishna has revealed to them how they can distribute crores of lakhs of nice. When I came to Mayapur the first time, it was in 1977. You didn't see pilgrims here too much, just not many, mainly Westerners. When I came 3 years ago, so many devotees with bead bags walking up and down. All the pilgrims have bead bags. They're all chanting. They have kanti mala. It's like such a great transformation. We can see the power of Gauranga Mahaprabhu's prediction manifesting before our eyes. In remote places, people, I imagine, are even more receptive in a sense, You're going to their place, their village, their towns, The bus that goes to Calcutta is extremely successful. They distribute thousands and thousands of bhagwatam sets and books. So this is the great forest fire of devotional service being spread and burning off all the bad karma and all the anarthas that people have.
So they are turning up, and then now they are becoming devotees and visiting Mayapur.
Exactly, yeah. And it's a tidal wave in West Bengal and India, just exploding. In 1983, when I came as temple president, I think there was maybe 15 temples in India. I think maybe a dozen. And it's just exploded, just mushroomed into over 100 temples. Yeah. I'll just. Oops. So, yeah. Sometimes it's very nice when devotees, especially brahmacharis, travel. Devotees travel. It's a very nice experience. Prabhupada he called it moving temples. We had the Radha Damodar party in America, and they had big buses like we have here. Prabhupada loved it, and we had Gauri Taidi. These are moving temples, and he was extremely enthusiastic and encouraging for these moving temples, moving around and distributing his books in large numbers.
So you must be having many inspirational stories in this 5 decades of book distribution service. So can you share some inspirational stories for us?
um, um, yeah. While I was traveling, I would meet people, and they would just be really searching hard, and I would stand there, and sometimes they just pick my brain, as they say, just drinking in all what I had, like sponges. This happened to me up in Canada This person was at a fair. There's some big fairs in the summer there, country fairs, and he just kept. He was just his eyes. He was really searching, and he actually became a devotee eventually. He got some books from me, and he became the temple president in Montreal. So things like this happened to me many times. One person, I was distributing books in McGill University, famous university, Bhaktivinoda Thakur sent a book there, very old university. And this person had gotten a book from me. He was born in Canada, but his parents were Punjabis, Hindu and Sikh, married together. His father was a big neurosurgeon, actually. Anyway, so I was in 2017 near our farm in Canada. I was organizing Festival of India in the park, the same park where these police got the books. And so I had to go and meet the mayor. So when I went to see the mayor, it was this guy. His name is Arjun Singh. And he said, this is like 1988 that he got a book from me at McGill when he was a student. He said, is your name Kripanidhi? I said, yeah. He said, you sold me a book. I used to watch you doing books in the university in the hallway, you know. He said, you sold me that book and now I'm the mayor here. What can I do for you? So I get these experiences. And he gave us so much support to set up the Festival of India in this famous, very beautiful park. And was so cooperative and supportive. And he said, anytime you want to set up a festival in the future, just call me. So he's a good friend of mine now. And he he comes to India quite a bit because he's quite a big politician in Canada. And he says, a lot of people are joining from different parts of the world. I said, yeah, it's very international. So that was very nice that after so many years, the mayor, he recognized me, remembered me. He got a book from me, and now he was all very supportive. Go through all the red tape. There's a lot of red tape in the West to get a park. You have to have food certification. You have to have your food inspected. You have to have a certified kitchen to distribute the prasad. All these things have to be right, you know. All the T's have to be crossed and the I's have to be dotted, as they say over there. So very bureaucratic, and he helped with that. And we had a very successful Festival of India. We got 1,800 Canadian people, a few Indians, but mainly Canadians. They all got prasadam. We brought our cows from our Goshala, and we were teaching them, this is what you're eating, you know. And the kids, you know, they were petting the cows. It was very successful. Everyone got prasadam and really enjoyed the festival. So that's one or two experiences.
When we talk about book distribution, so like you are distributing books, so it emphasizes on a point that we should read also those books. And today, in today's scenario, this reading point is missing because of that excessive social media, the short clips. So, are they substitute of reading Srila Prabhupada books?
The secret is, of course, the more we distribute these books, Shushu Shradadanas Vasudeva Kata Ruchi, we get the ruchi, the taste. The more we please Srila Prabhupada, the more reciprocation we get to drink this nectar of his purports. So we have to continue in this mood of this giving mercy, and then we receive mercy. The more you give, the more you get. It's a little quote from Vaisheshika Prabhu. It's very much true. Also, we have to be very strict with our sadhana. We have to wake up early and commit to good japa, very attentive japa, avoid 10 offenses to the holy name, and so on. And then we develop by trying to distribute the mercy of the the Acharya and his predecessors, of course, they give mercy. So much mercy is coming. So much compassion is there on the line coming down from Lord Chaitanya and beyond that. They want to deliver all the billions of people on this planet. They realize more than we do that these people are condemned. They're completely doomed. Prabhupada said your civilization is doomed one time when he was being interviewed. Because one who dies in the mode of passion or ignorance, especially in the mode of ignorance, they take birth in the animal kingdom. It's all there in the bhagwatam, being dragged to the yama sadhana by yamadutas and so on. It's not really much of a joke what's going on. They don't realize that, but that's what's going on. So it's also nice to meditate on this. Even the many people I meet here in West Bengal, I'm not a vegetarian. So I'm thinking, well, hopefully when they read these books, they also have some sinful reaction to deal with, even born in Nadia, the most holy place on the universe, still Kali has come in. So they also need the mercy, not that, they're born near the holy Dham, no. They all have to get the mercy of the great Acharyas and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yeah.
So I got the secret of how these things are keep you going. The good sadhana, reading Srila Prabhupada books, and absorbing oneself in the purpose of Srila Prabhupada. And one aspect I really like that while distributing books, then we develop the taste for reading also. A very important point to implement. And I am feeling like I'm just we haven't seen Prabhupada physically, but we have read that he's distributing and going one to one to distribute his magazines and in the Delhi streets, in the hot sun. Srila Prabhupada Lilamrit tells us, but the same thing I am seeing in you, that you are also going one by one, moving your portable cart in Mayapur to meet the devotees and pilgrims, have a good relationship with them, distribute books. So like a father, so we can see the son, like Srila Prabhupada's son. So you are also doing the same thing. And for 52 years, it's a very relishing and inspirational for every one of us, that we should be, maybe whatever services we do, but this book distribution as is so pleasing to Srila Prabhupada, and I am deeply touched that you have touched the lives of so many people by these books, and it's inspirational for everyone to join your Sankirtan party.
It's very magical. There's a story where this man in where I lived in Canada, he owned a lot of heavy equipment. He was from Germany, and his wife was having an outside relationship with a lawyer. So they decided to kill him because he had a weak heart. So they used one of these taser guns. So they tasered him, and he ended up in the hospital, but he didn't die. So then we were distributing books in this park, and some people would look at the books and magazines, they'd throw it down on the seat, on the park bench. So he was completely bewildered. He came out of the hospital, and he was sitting there in the rain, and he found a Back to Godhead magazine. And he went through it, and it was just, a complete, aha moment for him. And he went to the temple, and at that time we were just building the temple. And he made friends with devotees. He was an older man. He was established company, heavy equipment company, excavators, bulldozers. So he brought his equipment that we actually required to do all the landscaping around the temple and help finish the temple up. And this was like magical. Krishna brought him at the right time. Like these are different stories that we see happening by simply making an attempt to please Srila Prabhupada. Another story is I was organizing Festival of India. Sorry, time is running. And they told me, oh, it's too late. We can't get all the permits, it's the food permits. But they said, okay, you go and speak to this lady. She's a regional manager, and see what she says. But you applied too late. So we went to this lady, and a devotee called Madhua, he does the Festival of India all over America, Canada, America. And he said, let's just try, for Krishna, let's depend. So she opened the door, and she said, oh, you're Hare Krishnas. He said, yeah, please, we need these permits. She said, I was in Kazakhstan last year. I had a contract. She's a professor. She had a contract in Kazakhstan. She said, I attended your festival there, your Festival of India, and I love your food. And I bought all your cookbooks. She's a professional French chef, the famous French chef. And she said, okay, don't worry. I'll And again, the window and opportunity just opened up for us. And my colleague, my godbrother, is saying, you see, Krishna always opens up the different doors because he wants to help this Sankirtan movement. It was a euphoric experience to experience Krishna's mercy that way, Krishna's reciprocation. Yeah. So many stories.
I'm thinking why time is running out, why time is not pausing at one place to hear more and more such nectarian stories and experiences. And the topic was live. The book distribution is life and soul. So by this conversation and this very, heart appealing this talks, I am very much satisfied with the title, that book distribution is life and soul, because he spent his whole life. We just learned that he started his book distribution services in 1970s, and then still he's continuing this wonderful service to please his spiritual master, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So I am really sure that our audience would be very much deeply touched with these stories, with these lessons, instructions on book distribution, and how a person can spend his whole life fulfilling that mission. So this mission is on, and we pray that this mission lets go on forever.
Yeah.
And we also, as Prabhu requested, so those who are interested can approach him for the sponsorships of Bhagwatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita sets also, so that that can reach to the poor people who cannot afford the printing price. So it's I think this show is not over here. We'll continue again to know more into the depths of book distribution glories, because this is the most pleasing service to Srila Prabhupada. So thank you very much to our audience who have patiently attended this show to know many stories, and would again come with this wonderful experiences. Thank you, His Grace Kripanidhi Prabhu, who is
Thank
here.
you so much.
Who is here, separated from his book cart, because always with his book cart. So thank you very much, Kripanidhi Prabhu, and we'll request you to come again to our show. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your merciful interview. Very nice. And hopefully this can inspire many people to distribute Srila Prabhupada's books. It's Prabhupada's heart and soul is the BBT. Hare Krishna.
Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Book distribution yagya ki jai. Harinam Sankirtan yagya ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.